I feel like I've taken this harrowing journey with Shirley Sherrod this past week. An African American on a blog I read was right when she said, "We all have a Shirley in our lives." I call women like her in my family tough broads. They are women not hounded by the demons of racism, but troubled by other things. They're women who you sense have seen things and had experiences that create a network of solid steel within their spines and behind their beautiful but tired faces. This is Shirley. Shirley was forced to leave a job she loves and is good at because of a fight between the big boys. A fight between angry white men and frightened black ones. As I watch her various media appearances telling her story and defending herself, I get the feeling everything has gone all wrong here. So let's start at the beginning, shall we? Shirley has every right to be angry and to hate whites. Isn't she a human being? Who would drag someone whose father had been killed, a racially motivated killing, into every media outlet to prove that they're not angry? Shirley was the oldest of 5 girls when white men in sheets surrounded her home in the middle of the night. The same men responsible for the murder of her father. They burned a cross in her yard. Shirley has every right to be angry. Whites are not entitled to Shirley's lack of rage. When do we ever require the survivors of a murder victim to forgive the murderers? And remember, Shirley's father wasn't run over by a car while jaywalking. He was murdered because he is black. Forgiveness is Shirley's to give if and when the Spirit moves her to do so. Shirley is shrewd. She knows the White House and the president himself is responsible for forcing her from her job. She says it outright and between her words. Shirley understands the art of war. She had to in order to face down white men who wished to rape or murder her or steal what little she had. Shirley looks to me like a woman who understands that there are men who will set about to destroy a woman's good name for the sake of their baseless vanity. She stands there with dignity and eclipses even the President of the United States. Shirley is showing the President how to be strong. She slaps Obama sharply with her words and a smile. She obliterates the right wing and their racist sensibilities, putting them to shame. You might say they have no shame, but actually I think they do. But I'll get to that later. Shirley strikes me as a smart woman. A woman who knows not to return to an organization that attempts to destroy her legacy and reputation. They did not make her, and they cannot break her. Even after her story came out, the administration doubled down on its earlier mistake. insisting she would not be reinstated, and the White House supported that decision. But we know that was grand kabuki to make it seem that the president was merely taking direction from the agency and not the other way around. I know that someone else will make this fine woman a much better offer. I think Shirley wants to tell her stories. I think she wants to talk about her father and her experiences. Take a look at this face. Does this look like a face interested in racial harmony to you? Why must Shirley be dragged out to reassure racists that she is not angry, while anger and bitterness is etched on Andrew Breitbart's face? And before you start thinking that I'm judging him based on his looks, why don't you tell me whether you'd like this face sitting across from you at dinner, in your drawing room, sipping cognac? His eyes are hard and dull, making a mockery of his surname, Breitbart, when a dullard he is. What would your 3-year-old have to say about this face? Would your toddler bash him across the forehead with a Fisher-Price toy while wailing bitterly? How about your dog? What would your dog think? Would your dog growl and attack? What would your cat do? What would Fluffy think about Breitbart? Let's see you have him over to your house with your kids, since, according to Whoopi Goldberg, this is the new test for racism. What the hell does Breitbart have to be angry about anyway? Did his father get killed by the Klan? Or is he just mad because IHOP ran out of his favorite pancakes? To all you angry little white boys and girls screaming about racism, let's set some ground rules here. You cannot be a victim until you've paid your dues. You must pay your dues, or have had your dues paid by your ancestors. You must have been a slave. You must have worn chains and been whipped, raped, mutilated, molested, or an ancestor within 7 generations must have worn chains and been whipped for you to claim victimhood. And I'm not talking about your Saturday night S&M session with Maxine the hooker. I'm talking real slavery. Racists who gravitate to the right wing do not want to pay their dues. They do not want to pay what they owe, which is probably why they attack so strenuously the poor who need help, people on welfare. This is classic psychological projection. The con artist who accuses the innocent of being a grifter. Breitbart represents those who are dishonest. The lizard-brained Glenn Beck represents those who are dishonest. They do not want to pay blacks for the centuries of free labor and atrocities committed. This is why they call blacks lazy. Blacks are not lazy. After centuries of slavery, blacks are just tired. Breitbart and his right-wing cronies want to continue to scam the system. Shirley is correct. It is about money, y'all. It is about rich and poor. It is about the other forbidden R word, reparations.